Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my beautiful Leos. Um, Leo, sun, moon, or rising, those intuitively guided, and those who may be in love with the Leo. This is your October reading. It's a little late, which, I try so hard to get the readings out in time, but I have to say, you've shown up in a lot of people's reading, so we'll see what happens in yours. Today, we're going to do what's called the Celtic Cross. I did this in a couple other readings, and I just loved the way it turned out. So, we're going to go ahead and do it in this reading, and I'll let you know as we go along, like what the card placements mean. We're checking on love, life, money, career. I feel like a lot of people are getting epiphanies, and literally feel like we can take these epiphanies and create, for some, a business. I feel, however bold you are. So, anyway, we are going to let Mother Mary open up the reading. I did bring out the crystal vision. Like normally I don't clarify spreads, but just in case, because I've been feel called to it. So, and I'm going to use the light seers for the main spread. So let's start with Mother Mary. I'm going to go ahead and bring the lid down. Give it a shuffle. Everything is always pre-shuffled, but I like to give it a shuffle with you here. All right, Mother Mary. Beautiful Leos. Yeah, I've had so much Leo love in my life. Interesting. Hmm. I'm just going to read this because something is telling me to. Caffeine free. Dear Archangel Raphael, I ask that you cut my cords of attachment to caffeine so that I may on my body's natural energy rhythms without chemicals. Man, I feel like it's talking right to me also. So I feel like someone needed to hear that because like that card didn't want me to let it go. Oh my, love, love. It just makes sense. Like I just feel this reading, because for some reason I feel like it's you that's bringing a lot of joy to others in different ways. But love, love is the answer to all of my questions. So we shall see. All right, let's bring in the light seers. That means doing things out of love and maybe not spite, doing the opposite. Love for oneself. All right, let's give them a cut. All right, so I'm going to tell you how we're going to lay it out. So I'm not going to look at them either. I don't know, I like the element of surprise. So number one is going to be your present, current situation, current message, whatever it needs to be. Number two is going to cross over that. And this can be the challenge, an obstacle, but sometimes I feel like it can be the way also. So let's keep, I'm going to keep a positive tone on it for right now. Number three is your subconscious. And it's like, I don't know, like subconscious thoughts that are affecting the situation. I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying that. All right. Number 4 is the past. So past influences, what led up to today, right here. Makes sense. Number 5 is the conscious, subconscious, conscious. So conscious being, like influences that you're aware of, you know, sometimes things that we can't deny. But then again, it can be very positive. All right, so now we're going to look at future. And this is like the potential outcome or like some type of direction to take. So put that there. And then now is you. And it's going to go down at the bottom. Let me make room at my table here. All right, so just you in this factor, whatever it may be. And next we are going to take external influences. What's going on out there that may be affecting me within. Next is your hopes, your dreams, your fears. Put that right there. Can actually slide these up a little bit. And then last but not least is like final outcome. But I want you to keep in mind that we have the power to change that outcome, right? We just need to, like if something's not going right, we just need to either rewrite the chapter or close that book and start anew. So this is the spread, and let's go ahead and get started. So number 1, present. All right. I'm like, why can't I see? I have my old lady glasses on, or had. All right. Oh, well. 9 of Pentacles. Nice. I mean, 9 of Pentacles. Listen, if you haven't seen the fruits of your labor yet, this is saying get ready. Right? Like get ready. It's interesting. I'm also thinking 9, definitely this year. Some of you, I feel like, what I really love about this card is the sense of independence you feel within it, right? Because this is taking, remember I said, like, for some, like an idea, an epiphany, and you create a business. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. This means successful self employment. But I often feel like for some, it's just the beginning. But if I focus on it, you're definitely going to grow it. And, it's a type of independence where I don't mean like I live alone, I'm independent. I mean that I can just take care of myself. And I feel like that puts, I don't want to say like another armor. Let's just say it's like another gift that opens up within you. So I like that. Some of you, it may be talking about a period of time where like you're paying attention to your finances, your career, your baby, I'm going to say for some. And I don't know, I feel like there might be some tie to December because I feel like she's hanging up an ornament. All right, so let's look at number 2. So we'll call it a challenge. That's what it's called. Let's just look. 7 of Wands. Wow. 7 of Wands is standing your ground. But literally, I feel like this person is rising above. So, it may talk about like the world's problems or just people around you, but I feel like you're just rising above it. Some of you made like a conscious decision this year to like build something of your own. And you had to rise above like the naysayers, the noise. There's a lot of noise in the world right now. So I don't know. I like that. And it's interesting because like she's in such a zen position, though it normally talks about like, all these fires. She's protected. All right, well, let's keep going because she is pointing to the past. So, but actually, we're going to do the subconscious first, right here. So, any subconscious factors um, regarding this situation? Page of Swords. Look what she's doing. Number one, this is like the Epiphany card. Like she's reading this book, and from this book, like she's getting idea after idea after idea. Something may have grabbed her attention. And, it's like my journey. That's what it's like, I feel like it was introduced to me in a way. And then the more I learned about it, the more I wanted it. You know what I mean? I wanted to continue. Anyway, how interesting because, again, I feel like it ties back to the very opening statement. For some of you are taking these epiphanies and creating, if not a business for yourself, at least I feel this sense of independence for oneself. Page of Swords can talk about using of one's voice, but I really feel like it's like ideas and thoughts and like when I'm up here in this bubble, so to speak, when I rise above, it's like my thoughts, yeah, like are free to flow. Like I had writer's block, it's lifted. Why? Because I just quiet out the noise. Okay, let's see the past. So, the influences that led to this current situation. Look at this. Five of Wands. That makes sense, right? Makes sense because, again, I feel like it's so important to realize what she's doing, right? Like, definitely looks like she's rising above. And think of Wands, it can be good or it can be ignoring or not ignoring. It can be annoying. You know what I mean? Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, we're being hit over and over again. But she says, nope, right? She finds almost like her inner self. And I feel like this is like the main action because it's like when I find this state, then I feel like, well, we know abundance opens up, but it's definitely showing us like the past. This can be a lot of drama, people fighting, can be friendly competition, but it don't look friendly. Looks aggressive. People are falling down. There's fire. Hmm. Don't get pulled into it. Don't get pulled, And that's exactly what I feel like happened. You said, I'm not going to get pulled into it. Sometimes it can mean a lot of ego. And it can be hard not to get pulled into it. It is a 5, so it is change, but it's definitely talking about the type of energy that you had to overcome. It's like you had to find that quiet in the midst of a storm, but you did, or you are. Some of you like really trust thoughts, epiphany, signs, because I feel like if you're able to disconnect from, the drama, I feel like this may be one of the most abundant times in your life. Because I feel like you're going to hear clearly. Okay, well, let's keep going. So conscious, number 5. So any conscious influence. Like, so here I kind of know 4 of Wands. I feel like, when I feel the 4 of Wands, to me it's about foundation. Starting something on like a strong foundation. The 5 is like wobbling, right? But the 4 is like steady, feet on the ground. I feel like for some of you, like this is what you're truly understanding. Like when your foundation, when you feel strong, even if you don't know yet, because this person down here, like having all these ideas, right? But in their natural energy. Um, and then I think of the 9 of Pentacles, which is a card of Virgo, and that's not always fast moving. So maybe something is not meant to move too quickly. So that foundation is good. Some of you, like, you already know that. That's like a realization you had. Like, if I don't start this on a strong foundation, well, it's almost like they might be right, but they're not. They're not. All right. So let's look at future, potential outcome or what have you. 2 of Swords. Interesting. 2 Swords. It's wearing a blindfold, not wanting to face a fact, maybe. Sometimes I feel like it can be getting in one's own way. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe it's for those who like got pulled more into the drama and therefore it feels like maybe opportunities show, but it's a different perspective. Because I don't feel any fear here. And then boom. But what is that I don't want to face? I feel like, it's mirroring the 5 of Wands. But yet, I feel like it's your own thoughts. So we'll come back and clarify. All right, let's move to you. Look at this. Hello, Ace of Pentacles. So, here's a real opportunity. Like, look at the seed. Look at the roots coming off the seed. That tells you that no wonder the 4 of Pentacles is there, right? I know the importance of that strong foundation. And then there are those roots. Like, I want those roots to take root. And that you can just tell they will. But this is you. It's like it's being handed to you. Ace of Pentacles to me means something that's coming into your physical world. It's interesting because you're getting, well, this is your third pentacle. Um, but pretty major. So it's interesting that that Two of Swords is there. Because the Ace of Pentacles to me comes in no matter what. It's just what will I do with it? So let's just keep that in mind. All right, so let's look at the external influences. Queen of Cups. Look what she's doing. She's also connecting to above. Like she looks like she's rising above. The reason why you see her like half in water is because this queen can look at someone, whether they be homeless or whether they be, let's say, like a well known attorney. She would treat them just the same. She would see them just the same. She would see the person. This is in the upright. And I feel like I'm describing you. Um, though, it can be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. But I kind of feel like I'm describing you, like at this moment, like in this moment. So she's connecting. She's got this key around her neck. See that? It's almost like, send me the key. Or show me that door. Again, I feel like she's rising above. So that might answer that Two of Swords. Like, if I block it, then I have to look within my emotional house because, probably whatever happened here probably hurt. But yet, I feel like what you're receiving, like, I really feel like you're meant to. But you have to believe that. That's the main thing. So there's a lot of energy of being open and being grateful. So, all right, well, let's look at your hopes and fears. The Six of Wands, fear of victory. It doesn't sound like my Leos, right? That fear of victory. But for some of you, again, it may tie back to that Two of Swords, which is, to me, tying back to the Five of Wands. I always feel, when I see this card, I always think of you. And I feel like a freaking little bug flying around me. Um, I just feel like you belong in the spotlight. One way or the other. Like I feel like you deserve the victory and success. If you're going after it. I have to add that. I feel like in the Six of Wands, it is where other people are looking up to you, and again, it's your hopes and your fear. So I want it, but holy shit, what if I get it? Again, the connection. It's like the connection to above seems to be the answer. All right, we're going to look at the final outcome. Look at this. Now the Queen. So it's interesting because it started in the Seven of Wands energy, right over what you can do, what you can build, what you can create. some just from thoughts. But look at this, there she is again. Now she's the queen. Almost like she's showing the way. Some of you, that's what it is. You're showing the way. Yeah, she's looking over at the Four of Wands. For some of you, I feel like that's what you're doing. I feel like for some, it feels simply like, I say simply, but it does feel like you're meant to go this path, right? Like the sun is meant to shine for you for this one journey. Maybe not your whole life, but this one journey feels meant to be. I feel like it doesn't mean there's that bug. It doesn't mean that it falls in my lap. It's something that I'm building, and I'm building it, I'm becoming stronger and stronger within myself. And again, in the Nine of Pentacles, like you're the one who reaps the benefit of the Nine of Pentacles. So anyway, I feel like it's coming down to trusting yourself. Trusting yourself. I even feel like for some, it may be like the fear of having a spotlight on you. But what if I told you like you were born for it? You were meant for it. King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I don't know why I just turned this deck over. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You know what the moon under that. Pisces, Cancer. Anyway, what I notice about this king is he just feels like someone who has climbed his own mountaintop, has reached a top, and I feel like that means clarity of thought, um, truth, integrity, but he had to climb this mountain. He had to climb it. It's almost like with the moon there in the dark, but he did. All right. All right. I think I'm going to bring clarifiers out. I feel like it's telling a couple different stories, and you may relate to like more than one. You know, this is really meant to empower you. Some of you, like, it's meant to have you trust in those epiphanies you're receiving. Maybe your intuition could be signs that are pointing you in a certain direction. Definitely feels like for most of us, it's about quieting out the noise, what we can't control. All right. Well, we'll start at one. One and two, we'll call it. See what it wants to add. We have the Three of Pentacles. Interesting. This is nice because the Three of Pentacles is really recognition and reward for what you do. This is about your individuality and being proud of it. I often feel like it doesn't really matter how many people do what you do, you still do it, uniquely to you. And I often feel, I don't want to turn it to love, but if it is, I feel like there is, well, let's just say I do feel like someone could be admiring you for you. Hmm. The devil, part of Capricorn, and the Six of Cups. Interesting. Okay. I feel like for some of you, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I felt like I had to stay here you know, or something kept pulling me back. It seems to be for some like this sense of responsibility, but yet I do feel, I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like there could be someone who, you may have someone in particular who, I don't know, like I get the sense of like eggs me on. Hmm. I just get the sense that we're different. Now, I feel like a Six of Cups. I feel like this is change. I do feel like this is someone. It's interesting because I feel like for some of you, you've been like, let's just say, going back, or maybe you feel like you've been like going backwards type of energy, just you know, drawn to the dark, the shadow. Um, and, maybe I enjoyed it at first, but, it became what it was. And, you could have certainly, given it a few times. But I feel like it is what it is. It was what it was. And I feel like the Six of Cups, it feels like someone new, but for some of you, someone old at the same time. I feel like this is energy that's connecting you to another. It's interesting. Some of you could like literally be moving back to like your hometown, to a place where, you know, I would say you would remember, in a happy way. Like, huh, I lived there. Life just felt so much easier. And I don't know, some of you may just decide to do that. And maybe a little bit what the two swords is like, should I or shouldn't I? It's like I can't answer that question for you because I feel like it has to come within, but I feel like the ability to, I don't know, I feel like you're connecting. All right. Well, we're going to follow that death card. That makes sense, right? The closing of a door. This is about transformation. This is a clear ending, but a new door opening. It's interesting. It's coming over in a way subconscious. So it's almost like your soul knew it. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like saying everything's got an expiration date, but not everything. But, anyways, and the death card really speaks about rebirth. Like, change, like, you shouldn't fear what follows. And, this key is making more and more sense. Whoa. All right. We have 7 of Cups. I don't know. I'm just going to take them. We have the Knight of Wands. Interesting. Coming in. Interesting. I'm going to turn them around, but it's interesting how all 3 of them reversed. Your major arcana, the 9 of Cups. And look at that, the Tower. Okay. Well, maybe they were meant to be reversed. So that would put the Tower, the 9 of Cups, the Sun. I feel like there's some who, you may not be closing a door. You may not be putting an end to something, which I feel like is totally your free will. Um, but I feel like when you think of potential of your future, let's say, you're not looking at it through an optimistic lens. You are, you are allowing, I feel like, um past to decide your future, where you have the opportunity to let all that go. And I feel like you fear, like, will you find this inner harmony? And over again, it's like not only seeking it, but finding it. And it feels like the only thing that is difficult is this 2 of Swords. But that's free will, right? I can take that blindfold off. And I feel many times when that blindfold comes off, there's nothing there. Like what I feared was just in my mind. It's funny, I'm noticing her tattoo. She got a tattoo on her arm. Funny, her with the key, her with the tattoo. I kind of feel like I'm looking for that matching, like I'll know it when I know it type energy. But here's the Knight of Wands. So that means passion, right? It's coming in. It's being met by the 7 of Cups. What do I do? What do I do? Right? It can happen during a chaotic time. More reasons why you want to learn to center yourself. Because it's going to affect whether you say yes or no. It's coming in as the Knight of Wands, but it's being met as a cup. So I feel like for some of you, you're just asking yourself different questions. This is the year you're meant to do that. You're meant to reflect. You're meant to look at your life and make real decisions. You need to think about, like, this is the end of a 9-year cycle. We start year 1, and it's our seeds that we plant is what our harvest will be, but it starts in year 1. So, don't be afraid of emotions that are coming up. Maybe you're meant to face them, clear them. And it feels as you clear, you become stronger, wiser. Some of you just aren't trusting within those thoughts, those epiphanies. Something may be coming between you and your dream. And I feel like it's you. But I mean, it can be other energy, but it still feels like it's your control. I feel like you just got to take a chance. Interesting. Because I feel like the sun and the nine of cups in reverse, I feel like it's an illusion with the devil across from it. I feel like it's an illusion that this can't be moving forward. But then here's the Ace of Pentacles, like showing you otherwise, right? The Tower in reverse being met by the Death card. The sun will come out tomorrow. All right, interesting. All right, well, I'm going to pick this up because I don't want too many cards on the board. But I feel like we're going to continue with that. But holy cow. All right. So I don't know. It doesn't really feel like anything in just wants to be clarified. I guess we could look at the past. But in a way, I'm like, do we really want to? Queen of Swords and the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is, well, it makes sense. Discontentment, boredom in one's emotional world. But there is a cup coming in. And this is all about learning to use your spiritual discernment, which it does feel like part of the lesson here. But once you do, you do. But anyways, it makes sense. It's almost like I'm unhappy anyway. Why not go do my own thing? Hmm. And then the Queen of Swords, I kind of feel like she's speaking her final piece. Like, I kind of feel like this is you. Yeah, there may be something like you put on a back burner, part of yourself, and it may be coming to the forefront. Talent, we see the King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So this queen could just be, I'm no longer satisfied. I've had enough. Swords up, so I feel like she's cutting those ties. Let's follow that for a second. I don't want to make this a super long reading, but it's funny because I could stop at the end of the Celtic Cross. Um, but it's my curious mind for you that I want to go deeper. That's something flipped. So let's come over here. Let's look at the Ace of Pentacles because it's clearly meant for you. Oh my gosh. Surprise, surprise. Lovers. Now, Lovers is a head over heart decision. And it's funny that the Ace of Pentacles is coming because it means it's coming into your physical world, but it has those roots. So to me, like, what's ever planted with this ace only grows. Just maybe the chemistry. It just may be, I don't know. I'm like thinking back to that Six of Cups. Um, but I don't want to take away in what I feel like you've done first and foremost. But this queen, it's like she is connecting to above. And that may be like for some a wish. Also card of Gemini. We have, oh my gosh, the Knight of Pentacles is so interesting because, every knight has its job, its duty. And this knight is the slowest moving knight. Um, but I really feel like it's more about it moves as slow as it needs to because when it comes in, the timing is right. You know what I mean? Like I'm just at the right place at the right time. That's that. I don't need to worry about it. The Knight of Pentacles tells you, I come at the right time. So maybe it's when you're really open to the energy because I don't feel like the night would come before that. Hmm. So, I mean, there's the knight answering that pentacle. Even Mother Mary, love. Well, if this is love, this is different. The Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. The Page of Wands. That is like your inner child. And look at this, the Nine of Pentacles. Holy crap. So from the Eight of Pentacles, here's the Ace of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles by the Knight of Pentacles. Wow. I feel like this knight is answering multiple things. Wow. I feel like it feels like some of you are just starting on a new path. I can remember when, I used to live a really earthly life and now, it's all about my spirituality. Um, and I can see like a life change, but boy, does this feel guided. Again, I feel like it's starting back here, listening to these epiphanies, believe that they're so, and I feel like many knowing that whatever I begin, I want to begin it on, I want a strong foundation. And it's almost like the night is saying, like this night is like, wow, I was sending you those epiphanies. And from those epiphanies, you were building in the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, knowing one day you'll leave as the master. While in the Nine of Pentacles, you are the master. You're the master of your domain. And, Gemini and Virgo right there, I'm thinking of Mercury. So communication. So I don't know. I feel like it's just answering. It's almost like a knight is saying, you took what I gave you and you created from it. You believed in yourself. You quieted out the noise. And I feel like, and now it may be time to introduce the lovers. And I feel like that goes back to the Six of Cups. Some of you may be like you are making a physical move. You don't have to be. Wow. Okay. It's kind of blowing me away. Um, I feel like, well, I was looking at the Six of Wands. Look at that, Four Swords healing. So that's your fears and hopes, which, I'm thinking are polar opposites usually. But the Four Swords healing. This might have been a journey of like healing the inner child. So the inner child could like take over in a way. So I feel like if anything, it's your thoughts that are being healed. But it may be again, you know, due to the past. So don't let your past, Eight of Swords, that's what's being healed. Well, that's good. This is a self-created prison. And with the Four of Swords next to it, this is like someone setting themselves free. And it really is the feeling of freedom, right? The freedom to be you. You don't need these walls. Energy like attracts energy. Your intuition is really your protector. So, anyways, you're freeing yourself. And the one place I was feeling was in the swords. So, I felt like Leo, what do you want to do? All right, I think I'm just going to do, well, it's like I want to do final outcome, but I'm going to take it down here. That with the Queen of Cups again. So two queens, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. We have the Two of Pentacles. Hmm. I feel like there might be someone who may say to themselves, like, do I even have time to have a love affair right now? Um, Seven of Pentacles, interesting. Your tree of life. This person is sitting there and I feel like they have pentacles in their lap. I don't know. So some of you, I feel like, these may be like seeds again, where I felt like some of you have talents, you already have them, some of you are developing them. I feel like no matter what it is, like I know this Ace of Pentacles is meant to happen. I already knew it with the Knight, but Seven of Pentacles, it may even talk about past, you know, and what it has taught me. Right from the get go, I felt the difference of five wobbly and the four strong. And, as you move forward, that's may simply what you may want to ask. You're like, will this enhance my life or will it not? But I do feel like what's ever meant to happen in the Seven of Pentacles, hmm, um, will happen. It's interesting because I'm seeing the Two of Swords and the Two of Pentacles, and I feel like It's the difference of listening to my fear-based mind or my logical mind. All right. Wow. We have justice. So I feel like there you are, cutting ties. And listen, when justice is in your reading, it's about you being balanced, you feeling balanced. And that may be why I said the Five of Wands felt wobbly to me. So, you know, just like the death card is saying, right? A door has to close. Um, but it's if a new door, it has to close for the new door to open. It almost feels like a necessity. Justice is like doing what you need to do. Justice is about making you whole again. Remember, I felt this queen was like looking for that key, that tattoo, and then we have the world. Well, that means this is the next chapter. This is the next chapter, and so it begins. Honestly, I feel like there is nothing to fear here. Quite the opposite. I feel like the more you believe in yourself, I feel like the further and further you will go. And I feel like as it relates to love, it feels like at the right time. And I do feel like it is talking like um I don't know, like we're in harvest time. So it may not be that far off, but I feel like this was important, like the building of you first and foremost. All right, let's bring out the clarifying love situations. It's funny, I do a spread and then I kind of just go freewheeling over it. But I get it. I hope you guys do. And I feel like some of you just might be minding your own business one day, and somehow, some way, I feel like someone is going to connect with you in some way. We have beyond compare. Don't compare your love to anyone else. It's unique. Mm, gotta earn my love, right? You gotta make me feel I deserve to be lovable. I know that I am. But I want you, you know, I want someone to verify that. All right. Romance angels, and then we will let it be. It's interesting because I am seeing the love. Like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's just part of the journey. Even though Mother Mary brought out love as your very first card, but love of self also. Calling in your soulmate. I feel like that's what that queen is doing. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So it's interesting because I feel like all the queens, except for the Queen of Swords, which is the one who needs to be like using that sword, all the other queens are like connecting to above. So some of you, like, Let's face it. Getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. Getting to know you. So, I have a feeling like keep yourself open that this soulmate, because I do feel like this is being answered. Here's the night, like answering it. But it can be like someone different. It may be someone who has, who thinks a lot like you do, has like similar interest. And therefore, I feel like it just naturally flows. So just keep your mind open. Keep your mind open. And I don't feel like there's a lot you have to do, except, well, it depends where you're at in the reading, but I don't want to go back over the reading. So I'm going to let that be. But I kind of can't wait to hear your comments. I feel like it was pretty clear, but I guess it depends where you're at, along the journey here. And I feel like if nothing else, pay attention to your intuition this month. Because I feel like it is helping you, it's guiding you, and year one next year, building it on a strong foundation, planting those seeds right now. All right. I love you guys. I thank you. Um, I thank you for your comments. I love them. Um, even the difficult ones, not the rude ones, but the difficult ones. I mean, um, I just love the comment section. I feel like you help each other and it lets other people see, like, okay, I'm here in the journey or I'm here in the journey. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.